Great news. The Drop with Frank and Brian is officially brought to you by Switch Suspension. Switch Suspension specializes in all vehicle chassis components. Lift kits, lowering kits, air ride suspension, wheels, tires, steering, and brake upgrades. They use all the best products from the best brands. And these guys are truck guys. You roll into their parking lot at the shop and they all drive custom vehicles. So they use their products that they sell on their own vehicles. So if you guys are looking for anything for your vehicles, whether you're just starting out or you just need some replacement parts or whatever, give them a call or visit their website, switchsuspension.com. We wanted to kick off 2023 in a big way. So we want to thank AccuAir for hooking us up to hook you up. Frank, heads up.
What incarnation?
Just kidding. We are giving away this AccuAir E-Level Plus kit. And all you guys got to do to win it is either go to livelifecustom.com or grinder-tv.com. And for every $5 you guys spend on either one of those websites, get you one entry into the drawing.
Recording in focus. Recording.
In focus.
Focus,
Coffee.
focus, focus. Oh, you got coffee this morning?
Every morning, man. This is my mug.
But like it's noon, so it's not really morning where you're at.
That's so I wake up about anywhere from between 7 and 8. Mm-hmm. And my routine is I go and start some a little handful of potatoes on the stove. Mm-hmm. Start my coffee, take a shower, make my breakfast, and then I drink this all day.
Oh, so that lasts you all day?
All day. And
wow.
Then I usually only drink down to here, throw the rest away, and then about 8 o'clock at night, I make another one of these, and I drink about this much and throw the rest away.
Seems wasteful.
It's coffee. It's like, I don't know.
Coffee in our house is like, well, number one, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to caffeine. Like, that's full stop. Like, I'm to the point where if I don't drink coffee in the morning, I just can't think. Like, I can't put my thoughts together until I have coffee. So I drink, I know this because my coffee maker does it by ounces. So I drink 20 ounces in the morning and then 10 ounces in the afternoon. And then if the days are really bad, then I'll do another 10 ounce in the afternoon. But
So is it the caffeine that you're addicted to?
100%.
Because can you do it like if you didn't have coffee, you just had Red Bull? Is it just
same thing?
Helps you constant. Same thing.
Same thing. It's caffeine.
I think I'm not addicted to the caffeine. I'm addicted to the routine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have to have. So this is funny. I have 2.
Sorry, I don't know why that was so funny. The way you presented them, you're just like, hold on, I have to.
And this is what I do. I take a drink of this. And a drink of this.
What's in that? What's in the black one? Not coffee.
It's usually like lemonade or iced tea or soda.
So you have a hot drink
and a cold drink. That's
fascinating.
That replaced my vodka and soda.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I never drank coffee until I stopped drinking alcohol. Because I would always have to have a cup.
Just something to sip on.
Yep.
I guess it's my thing with the water during these podcasts. Like, it's just like, I don't know, like, because I say this all the time, since I review all the episodes and I watch them very intently. I'm always doing something. I'm either like rubbing my hands together, or I'm playing with a pen, or drinking. Like, I'm very skittish.
What? You also have a hard time paying attention.
I do.
So it's like you can't focus on what, like, you focus on what's being talked about, but when I'm editing these, I notice that you're either one, not interested in what's being talked about.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it is true though. Or you're like thinking ahead.
That's more to the point. It's not that I'm not interested. I'm always interested. It's because I'm thinking ahead. And
now I think you're too worried about what's coming ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah,
I admit that. Like I'm like planning. I'm already planning these conversations out like yesterday, like earlier today, like I already like not know what I'm going to say, but I've already kind of like rehearsed what I'm going to say. I don't know. Maybe it's from so many years of making videos and making sure that I'm very measured and, that, yeah, I think it's just, I'm worried that I'll just go, maybe that's okay. Maybe every once in a while, everybody's,
Yeah, I think it's okay to go into something without a plan. And when
that's
I say without
every
a plan,
episode.
No, but when I say without a plan, I mean like just minute by minute instead of hour by hour type thing.
Yeah.
Because before we would have we would have a topic the day before, the week before. We're going to talk about truck shows. Well, lately we haven't done that.
And not for a long time, not for many episodes.
So the planning went from a week to the day of. And now I really like the minute. Like, I just like the conversation.
Yeah. No, yeah. We're catching up here. Learning about our coffee habits and whatnot. I love coffee, though. Coffee's amazing. It's the greatest thing ever.
It's funny because Chelsea hated coffee. She's like, I hate coffee. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I said, you'll like it. She's younger than I am, obviously. I said, once you get into like a certain age, it's like that taste is acquired. So now I make more coffee than I need to at night, and I put the rest in the fridge. And then when she wakes up in the morning, she takes that coffee and makes a cold coffee drink for her day.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's like everybody, like when you grow up, like I never drank coffee when I was a teen. I never really drank coffee in my early 20s. And then when I started, it was only like on cold days, like, okay, it's a cold day, I'm going to have a hot cup of coffee. And then it just, evolved from there. And the same thing with like beer, like drinking beer. Beer objectively is disgusting. It's not good. And people who like I'm gonna like maybe knock on a few people here, but it's the kind of people who also like can take whiskey and be like, I smell nutty, blah blah blah. No, you don't.
You're a liar.
Like I saw this guy on TikTok, and he's like was trying to he started this TikTok channel, and he's like, I am gonna turn myself into one of those people. And so I only watched like maybe 3 or 4 of them, but he started on day 1, and he was like turning himself into this connoisseur of fine whiskey, right? First few days, I didn't even get to a part where he was okay with it. He'd be like, okay, I'm gonna try, and he like swirled it and sniffed it. Okay, I'm gonna really try. He goes,
Now, granted, there is a big difference with like if you go and buy a cheap whiskey like Jack Daniels, or not even, I mean, there's cheaper whiskeys. I can't think of the name, but to where if you actually buy a good whiskey.
Yeah, I don't know.
There is 100% of a difference in taste, because same with tequila. Like if you can take a shot of, I don't know, what's a cheap tequila? Jose Cuervo?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so
I'm
Jose
not a liquor
Cuervo
guy. I don't know about any of this
Okay,
stuff.
well then how can you be objectively against good liquor if you're not a liquor guy?
I wasn't objectively against it. I just said I don't know. I don't know the difference.
You said it's...
No. I said beer is objectively gross.
Yeah.
All beer.
Yeah.
Like it is gross. But then like it's like the coffee thing. It's like you start drinking it, and then you acquire the taste, and then it becomes refreshing, I guess, a thing. I don't know.
Maybe? I don't know. If you drank cheap whiskey, it's gross. I don't know if you can acquire that taste, but there is definitely good whiskey that tastes better than the cheap whiskey.
Oh, I imagine. I imagine, but that's just not
like. Do you like wine?
No.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
I went up to Napa and I filmed at a winery one time, and this was like very expensive wine. And we went into the caves where they have the barrels and all this stuff. And I tasted some and I drank it and I go, that was really, really good. Huh. And they're like, yeah, because this is like $200 bottle of wine. This isn't like
the $3 bottle.
Yeah, at the store.
Bevmo.
Where it's like $5 and you're like, how is that whole bottle of wine $5?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I don't have fine taste.
I think beer, I don't know if it's different or something. When I've been to a restaurant with someone, a few people before, and they're like, okay, taste this. And then now drink this. swish it around, do whatever. And now taste that same thing again. Is it taste different? And I'm all,
No.
nah.
I know. It's, that was my next thing. That was my next thing I was going to rip into is people with craft beers. I don't know. Am I in a ripping into mood this morning? This afternoon? I don't know.
No, I just think that's just when you're not into something, you're not into it.
Same thing could be said about trucks and different things like that.
Yeah, like you could get into your truck, like a stock 4Runner, and you're just like driving to work, and then you like come ride with my 4Runner. Isn't this nice? Isn't this different? Doesn't it feel? And the person's like, no, it just feels like the stock 4Runner.
But that's a compliment because if it feels like a stock 4Runner,
yeah, but it doesn't do anything to them.
you're talking about like a non-car person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think about that often. That's been like kind of a little discussion we've been having is like that whole thing about like, we brought it up a couple episodes back about mini trucks not being gangster. And I've actually like not put a lot of thought into it, but been thinking about it. And every time like I see stuff, I wonder, like there are certain, like I saw some TikTok videos that I sent you that were really like, what's the word? Trying to build a certain like look or certain feel around mini trucks. I don't know. The one I saw was, and I won't go into like a great detail about it, but the one I saw was like, it's this mini truck and then it cuts to a girl who is very into the mini truck. I'll say it.
She's taking her underwear off.
I wasn't going to like get that graphic, but okay.
Basically saying that, oh my God, that mini truck is so cool, it makes me drop my panties.
Yes, to put it very brutish, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah. And I was like, I don't know. And then like
I remember a long.
Okay.
Oh no, go.
No, sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to finish this thought. And then like because I've only seen a couple, and the couple that I've seen was one was like this Tacoma with like a primered hood, and I'm like, that's doing that to nobody.
And if it is, it's the wrong type of person.
And then the other one I saw, the truck was really cool. It was this like graphicked out. You've seen it before on the East Coast. It's like this graphicked out Nissan Hardbody that's got like a Targa top and stuff. It's a cool truck. I'm not knocking the truck at all. It's really, really cool. But I don't think it's that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could be wrong. There probably.
Do you think it's kind of like we're grown men playing with Hot Wheels, and then if you look at like a grown career-driven woman walks by, and there's just a bunch of us playing with Hot Wheels on the ground, and we're like, "Isn't this hot?" And the girls are like, "No."
Yes, that's a very good analogy. I like that.
Yeah,
that's a very good analogy.
So you have like
they're Hot Wheels. They're fun. They're cool.
Imagine
they're great.
Playing
but
we're me and you were on the porch with Hot Wheels with our friends, and we're bashing them into each other. We're cruising, and then you have this couple guys, and they're doing like construction.
Yeah,
like they're doing like man stuff. Yeah.
Hey girl, what you think of this?
Yeah. You roll the Hot Wheel towards them, and it hits their foot.
Man, we are on one this morning. Let's see, episode 39. We lost 50% of our viewers. Okay, good.
Sorry,
it's funny. You gotta admit it's funny. It's funny.
Oh yeah, it is. It's definitely fun.
But there's one thing that I want to talk about because now the video's out. Your video's out because you've had your Nissan for a few weeks now. And we haven't talked about it yet.
I've had my little Hot Wheel that I'm out there playing with.
Yep. Hey, girl.
What's up?
What's up, girl?
You want to come ride in my Nissan?
You want to ride in my
Hardbody?
30-year-old mini truck, standard cab?
Chelsea doesn't even want to ride in it.
Oh, really?
No.
That's hilarious.
I told her, I said, you want to go somewhere? We'll take the Nissan. She's like, oh, no, I'll just take my new car.
Yeah, I'll just take my brand new car.
Yeah. Oh, man. That made me cry laughing.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Okay.
Anyway, so your Nissan.
Yes.
What's it about? Tell me about it.
So I've been talking about this forever, trying to figure out what direction I want my YouTube channel to go. Mm-hmm. Because I am over doing show videos. And so I've been trying to find my groove of like, and it's funny because like once I get into the groove of editing a show video, I really like doing it. But it kept getting harder and harder to get into that groove. So I was like, yeah, I need to change something because it's taking me too long to edit these videos and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, I'm going to build my OBS on the channel. And then that is more of an intensive, like more of a, it's going to take a longer. So I was like, I need to get something that I can do faster, do like quicker mods to it. So yeah, so I was like, and I keep seeing these, I don't know. I saw like 5 or 6 static drop Nissans driving around.
Yeah, throughout all of these conversations, knowing you so long, I never really thought you had that big of an interest in Nissans.
I like all mini trucks.
Yeah.
Except S10s.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, S10 guys. Same. I had one.
Carl's always messing with me. He's always like, Carl is the guy with the white Star Wars S10 truck, which is obviously amazing.
Right.
But he's like, man, you and Frank, you just like Toyotas, huh? And I was like, no, we just don't like S10s.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Don't get me wrong, a S10 is a cool truck.
Oh, yeah, there are some really, really cool S10s out there.
So, anyways. Yeah, I've always liked, my first truck when I was 16 was a Nissan 720.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I always think of your first truck as the Toyota, the 86 Toyota.
Yeah. That was my first, like, lowered truck.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I just think hard bodies, and mostly hard bodies, they just have, their lines are really good. They're super cut. They're not super round, you know? And I think that's why I really like the Titan when that came out too, because the lines are sharp. And they just look sporty and cool. So, yeah.
Now that I think about it, like a Nissan Titan, if you really look at it, Nissan Titan and a Hardbody have very similar lines. They have a kind of that, like you're saying, those sharp lines, but kind of, what's the right word? Like bigger, like the front ends are bigger on them.
I have a picture. I'll post it here on the video. And it's that they're backed in my driveway together, and you look at them, you're like, oh yeah, that's just like a big brother to that one.
Right.
If you think of the hood line on a Nissan Hardbody, like the front of the hood's like this, and then like this. There is no like this. And same with the Titan.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's what I like about them, and I just think they look cool static dropped. No, there's some trucks that don't look good static dropped. Like some trucks just they can't pull it off as well as others, and I didn't want to basically spend a ton of money on this truck and a ton of downtime. I want to get it, modify it, drive it, sell it, do it again.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
So that's the goal.
What truck do you?
This one's cool. I've been driving around. I drove yesterday. Me and my mom drove to the grocery store in it.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I picked her up at her house, and she's like, I was like, it's easier to get in than the Titan. She's like, that's true. And then she gets in. She's like, where do I put my water? I'm all
in between your legs.
On the seat.
On the seat.
Yeah. Where do we put the groceries? In the bed.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what do you think? What truck doesn't look good static drop?
I don't know. Titans, for example.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like mini trucks specifically.
I don't think Tacomas pull it off very well.
Yeah.
They just look way better bagged than static drop.
Well, yeah. I think there are very few that looked better static drop than bagged.
I'm not saying that one will look like if I took the hard body and I took a static one and a bagged body dropped one. I'm not saying one looks better than the other. I'm just saying they equally look cool.
Okay.
Where if you you know what I mean? Like where if you took a Tacoma and it's static dropped and a body drop bagged one, in my opinion, my eyesight is like, I'm like, that looks way better than just the static drop one.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, for sure.
So.
Your Nissan had the exact opposite effect on Angie.
Yeah.
Angie was like, maybe I should get like a static drop truck to drive to work. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. But then like I said, but it can't be like, because you how much did you pay for that truck? Well, you said
$2,600.
Right. And I said, you're not going to get a Tacoma for that. I said, you're going to be getting like a Nissan or a Mazda, an S10. Not S10. But yeah. So yeah, it had the complete opposite effect of her. And at first I thought when the first time she said it, I thought maybe it was just like a like a fleeting thought or whatever, but she's mentioned it 2 or 3 times now. I'm like, oh, maybe you're serious.
It actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, look, it's going to get what, like 30 miles of the gallon, something like that.
I mean, realistically, around town, probably 24, 25 miles per gallon. I haven't really calculated it yet, but because the odometer doesn't work.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It's got the speedo tag.
Yeah. So every vehicle has their like quirks of and what happens and what goes wrong with them and stuff. So apparently Nissan's the clusters go bad. And this one, I'm gonna have to take it out and like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I just have to kind of look at it and go and tighten screws and see if it works. And
Same thing happens to the 4Runners too, because I was driving my truck recently, and the speedometer started doing that, and like I was like in my brain I was like, oh, this is just easy, maybe just a speedo cable or whatever. And then I started like researching and looking at videos, and yeah, it's the same thing. It's like something wrong with the cluster, and this dude's like taking it apart and metering stuff, and I'm like, nah.
No, I have a this feeling like if I had to pop the back of that off, all these gears just fall out everywhere, and I go, well, that's not going back in.
Yeah. Just get another cluster.
It works. It's funny because it revs wong wong like that. And then but it works fine, and it's once it gets going, it's fine, but it doesn't rack up the miles. But the other day it did rack up the miles, and the check engine light went off. So
wait, you got it. So in your video, because there's a video, so go watch a video. Go to the Grinder TV channel, watch the video. That is like the beginning. That's like you getting the truck and like just kind of like going over it. And so you took it over to Pruitt, and then I thought like you took it to him and then smogged it, and then it failed, and I thought you just replaced the cat.
So I did.
Oh, okay.
So we replaced the speed sensor because it was all oily and the wires were messed up, and the speed sensor, we thought that would fix the check engine light, and it didn't.
Oh.
So on pre-94 OBD1 trucks, the check engine light can be on and you can still smog it. Because because they put it on the rollers. They don't. Yeah. Yeah. Same. So that they just measure tailpipe emissions. If it's OBD2, you cannot if the check engine light's on. So I put it on the rollers, and they're like, it failed. So I went up the street. Like, you drive out of the smog place, and there's a sign that says, "Mechanic, we will guarantee you pass smog." So I was like, brr.
Here you go.
So went over there. The guy was like, yep. He replaced the cat, and then he drove it down and got it smogged, and that was it.
That's cool. Yeah. It's that surprised me because I thought that the smog laws in Arizona or Phoenix are much more lax, but that's the exact same process that I have to do with anything pre 2000. Something like that.
It's usually 95-ish, because like the Chevy OBS truck that I have, that's OBD1 and it's a 95.
Okay.
The Nissan is an OBD1 and it's a 94. I think they went to OBD2 in 95. But right around the mid-90s is when everything switched to OBD2. And that's got the port where they can plug it in, and it tells them the codes. If you have that and the check engine light's on, you can't even go through there. But like, there's a big sign that says, if your check engine light's on, do not even go through here.
Don't even try it.
So I parked and then walked inside, and I was like, the check engine light's on, but it's an OBD1. And she goes, oh yeah, just come in and put it on the rollers, because they just check tailpipe emissions.
Interesting.
Because there's less computer stuff. I don't know the whole rules to it.
Yeah.
I know that it's just Maricopa County here that has the smog emission stuff. So if you live like anywhere outside of this area where
it gets way different,
there's not even any smog laws at all. I do know to register it for 5 years was $80.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I only registered it for a year though, because I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, you're going to flip that thing.
Yeah, so it was like $15.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. And then you just picked up a set of wheels for it? Or we don't talk about that yet? I don't know.
We don't talk about that yet.
We don't talk about that one yet. We have to talk about these in order in which you upload videos.
That's the hardest part about doing this is I have all this stuff done, but I'm not going to post anything. Like, I already have the next video. I have all the pieces for it, but I haven't done anything yet. And so I don't want to like post anything on Instagram or anything till the YouTube video's out. And then I'll post stuff on Instagram. So that's kind of a hard thing.
Yeah, I know. It happens to me. Like I get so impatient about stuff. Like when I complete something, I just want to like do it and then put it like just show it off really, really fast. You know, so I don't think I could have that patience.
Yeah. Well, when I do videos for Trey 5 channel, he'll like get a chassis done and with a motor in picture, Instagram, and I'm like, don't you want to save some of that for the YouTube channel? He's like, no. I'm like, okay.
Everybody has their own workflow, I guess.
Yeah, their own patience type thing. Because, you know, by the time you get down there and make a YouTube video, it's going to be like a week. It's already done. You just want to show people are like, so yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. And it's got a lot of engagement on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you notice that?
A lot of, I think there's over 100 comments on it now.
Oh wow.
I think
wow, that's really good.
40 of those are for me responding, but like I never get that many comments on videos. So I think that it's going to be fun. And I'm already ready to like buy another truck and do another one. Like I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to do 2 or 3 of these at the same time.
Wow. That's awesome, man. You're going to be like the mini truck flipping king.
Yeah. And I don't know about flipping, cause I don't know if I'm going to I'm not doing it to like make a profit on these.
Right. You're just trying to keep this thing going to create content with, basically.
Exactly. And so that the fun factor in that is finding a truck that you don't have to put a ton of money into. So when I found this truck, it was like I had been searching and searching and searching. Carl had been searching for me. Dave Prater had been looking for me, and this one just like Marketplace just popped up, and I was like, huh. And I went down and looked at it and just bought it right then and there, because
That's awesome.
I was like, I don't have to put any money into the motor, the interior. Like the less amount of money you can put into it, then the more you can get out of it. Because like a clean Nissan of those years, they're between $5,000 and $7,000.
Really?
Yeah.
So for like one that's got like good paint, good interior, like
$7,000 all day long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So there's a possibility you probably will be making money on this one.
I think if here's the thing of it, the body's okay, but the paint is not great. It's got, I don't know what happened to it, but I could probably get away with like $1,000 paint job.
That's what I was thinking. Like a $1,000 single stage paint job.
Yeah.
It just looked nice. Cause like that's the whole like theme behind this thing. It's just like, it's just, I don't want to say this the wrong way. It's not like, I don't want to say it's just like just enough to be good, but it is very simple.
And it's actually the kind of the goal around it too, is to show that you can just enough to be good and still enjoy going to a truck show.
Well, remember like back in the day, like there were always articles in Mini Trucking Magazine saying like bag your truck in a weekend or lower it on the cheap, or just, you know, like that's always been sort of like a common theme with this stuff. It's only recently that, at least in my eyes, I don't know, but it's only recently like people have gotten into these like everything has to be a massive build. You know what I mean?
That's actually started in Mini Trucking back in like the early 2000s. There was a big drive to like, I'm still considering that just recently.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you look at their every cover was an extreme build.
Oh yeah.
You know, and granted, the cover of a magazine should be obviously really cool, but at the same time, like the most people out there, like say if you have Mini Trucking and there's 100,000 people that are mini truckers, only a small percentage is going to be able to do an extreme build. So you're talking to the bigger, if you do the least amount of stuff you do, you're talking to the most people out there.
Right. I think that happens a lot now too, is people, because I get a lot of questions, and actually like the question that we're going to talk about later kind of is the same thing. It's like a lot of people kind of get overwhelmed. They get it. They like, I want to build a truck. So they ask me like, well, how much does this cost? And I said, well, you know, it's around this ballpark for the suspension. It's around this ballpark for the thing. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, like, you know what I mean?
You know, you know where I learned about this, or kind of it opened my eyes to it, is being around the C10 stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because if you go to a C10 show, there's 1,000 trucks there. Only a handful of them are bagged or body dropped, but everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
So Absolutely. It's like, I'm like, well, we need to bring this back to the mini truck scene, and the mini trucks are getting to the point where you can bring like a static drop one, or even a really clean stock one, is super cool.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know, not like a newer one, but you know, an 80s or 90s. Like,
yeah, like that happens like a bunch of times. Like someone pulls up and like either static drop or just bag, but it still has like the original paint with the graphics and that like what's it like? Not checkered interior, but you know what I'm talking about on Toyotas where they have that like flannel looking interior, like, and then you're like, whoa, you know. So
well,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and like I was talking to Gary Buter. He was San Diego Forbidden Fantasy. He had a hard body. He moved back east, but he had hit me up and he was like, look at these door panels I have. And they're Nissan hardbody door panels with no speaker cutouts.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, these are super rare. And then he showed me a factory fender with a antenna cover. So that model truck didn't come with a radio at all. So there was no speakers in the truck, which made the door panels.
Yes, like smooth.
So like what piques my interest is trim levels. On these trucks, you know. So that's what I'm kind of learning about the Nissan trim levels and which years came with what and all that stuff. So
yeah, I've said a bunch of times before, like I'm that way with Mazdas.
Yeah.
Because there's all sorts of neat little things that you look out for.
Yep. So like the Toyotas have, I remember I ran across a Toyota on Craigslist. It was a 4Runner, 84 to 88 4Runner. And it was like $52,000. And I was like, what the heck is this? So I like clicked on it and it was a factory turbo 4Runner, super high end trim, and it had a digital cluster in it. And I didn't know that Toyotas came with digital clusters in the 80s. And it was
like the speedometer and everything.
Yeah.
It was all digital. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Right on.
Yeah. So that was a super rare thing. So
that's cool.
I'm just learning about all these different trims is fun.
Yeah, yeah. I always, you know, it's always interesting to see like when trends change and how people are getting into different things, and maybe that's the next thing. I don't know. Who knows?
What's that?
Just like doing a, and we said this before, like just like a basic truck.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, I think that we've brought the topic up a lot about when you get older and you've gone through different levels in your mini trucking or car building life, you know, and the one that I regret the most is cutting my Tacoma up so much to the fact that I couldn't enjoy it. So if this can show people and myself that I can still drive a mini truck to a car show and enjoy it without putting it in the garage. Like I could easily take this truck, put it in the garage, take the bed off, cut the back of the frame off, cut this, but then there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 shows that I'm going to miss, and I'm still going to drive my Titan to. And I'm like, no, I want to drive this mini truck to this show.
Yeah.
So that's me. The next step too is which show to take it to, because this is an entire goal-oriented video series, like a challenge. So the challenge is find a decently priced truck, do fun mods to it on a budget, drive it to a show that's not in town. So whether that's in Utah or whether that's in Texas, don't know if I would drive this thing to Texas. I think
I was gonna ask you that question after like cruising around in it for a while. Do you see yourself sitting in that thing for 18 hours, 19 hours?
Comfort level, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad. Because when I the farthest I've driven it is 100 and almost 200 miles in a day.
Oh,
so
okay.
Quite a long time on the freeway too. So the number one, no cruise control, but we haven't had cruise control in your truck in a year and a half. So.
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah,
long time.
And I don't use cruise control when I'm driving and towing, so
that's true.
I'm totally fine with that. And then the other thing is like me in it is fine, but there's no place to put my right arm because there's
no like console,
center console. And then your left arm, there's no like on our trucks. There's a big ledge. Well, there's nothing.
So do you find yourself just kind of sitting there like this? Right?
Yeah, kind of like this. I find myself putting my arm on the other thing, but I'm like, if there's a passenger in here, I'm not doing that. So I'm like, okay, how would I do this long? And it doesn't go fast. You know, 80 miles an hour, that thing's revving out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like,
what's a good like cruising speed in
like
it?
70.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
It's not bad. That's what we drive towing when we don't drive too fast. So all these things I'm thinking about too while driving it. I'm like, okay. So I think reliability, like I don't want to get stuck anywhere. That's a big thing too. But then I'm like, well, what could break on it? There's really not much that could break.
that's what's going to be my question is like, unless it was bagged and like something blew as far as it being bagged, but just a static drop, basically stock truck, like what could go wrong? Well, I mean, you could blow up the motor, but I mean, if that happens, then I mean, like, what are you going to do?
I could blow up the motor in the Titan too.
That's what, I know. I'm just waiting for those days.
God.
Put her down.
I know. So I don't know. I definitely want to. I don't know if it's going to be this truck because timing's a thing too. Now I'm just like, I want a show to come so I can film because that's the end of the road for this. So the end of the series is driving it to a show and going, we did it. Now it's for
like
sale.
A far show.
Yeah, like a far show. So I'm thinking that Rolling in the Red Rocks will probably be a good one.
Cool.
To take it to. And then it's going to be for sale. So if people are listening to this and they want a Nissan, that's... The other cool part about this is it's taking it to a mechanic and like going through everything to make sure I can drive it long distance reassures a seller that they can buy it. So it adds value to it. Yeah.
They could watch the whole process go down and be comfortable like, oh yeah, no, this is legit. This is good.
Yeah. Because if you watch that video, like it's got all kinds of brand new parts under the hood, you know, so, and now it's got a new cat. So if you live where you need to get emissions done, it'll pass.
That's a big thing. I mean, even if you live in a, like you're saying, like even if you live in a state that the smog laws are not too strict, it could very well go to a state like California where they're very strict.
Exactly.
You know? That's what I like about my truck. My truck passes smog no matter where you take it.
It's super valuable. And there's so many trucks that don't have that. And if me being a buyer of a truck, if I'm looking at a truck and it's from some other state where they just annihilated everything, took everything off, I'm just like, well, I can't buy that truck.
Oh yeah. I think about that too. Because like when I was for a minute there, when I was looking at full size trucks, obviously there were a lot in Texas, so I was like looking at different ones in Texas, and I have a friend who's like a smog guy, so I bounce a lot of ideas off of him, and he's just like, nope.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the thing. So it's all going to be a journey. The funniest part about filming this whole thing was I filmed an entire segment where I'm leaning, like if you watch the teaser on Instagram, there's at the end, I'm leaning against the back of the truck and I slide over. So I recorded it, but I set the camera up and I'm talking to the camera and I'm explaining this whole thing. And then I would stop and I'd mess up. So I would slide over and then slide back into frame.
So you have all this footage, you just go back and forth.
And I didn't use any of that footage at all in the video because as I was editing it, I was like, this is all boring. And I
was going to ask you like what, because you had said that like even in the video you said that, and I was wondering, I'm like, what was it that you didn't find, that you didn't like, or you thought was stupid? Because in the video you said it was stupid. So I was like, what is that? What is that to you? What is stupid to you?
What did I say was stupid?
Like maybe I'm recollecting wrong, but I think in the video you said I don't know where it was, but somewhere you said like, oh yeah, I had some other stuff filmed, but it was stupid. I didn't like it.
When I say stupid, I use it as a very vague, like, I
understand.
Yeah. I just didn't. So as I'm editing it, I'm watching it. I'm like, no, it's just not interesting. It doesn't make the story any better.
Right.
So one thing that I've learned from the get-go when I started Grindr TV was you have to tell a story, right? Whether it doesn't matter how you tell the story, there just has to be a story. What I'm starting to realize with this is, and what I've started to realize in the last couple of years, there's certain things that don't add to the story. And if it doesn't add to the story, it doesn't need to be in there. So if you're watching something and it's just a stale part, you're like, that doesn't add to the story. So I'm just not going to put it in there. So I have a ton of stuff that did not add to this story because I never filmed myself doing this. So that's what I was mostly talking. So I have a ton of footage of like, I just filmed an entire segment of me driving with the engine light off, and then it came back on and I turned around and I was talking about emissions to the camera. And I was like, this really doesn't add to it. It just kind of whatever. So
no, yeah, totally get that. Yeah. Editing so many videos, there's a lot of stuff that just gets left out.
Yeah.
Like for me, like it's always the kind of switching gears, but it's always like the drive home from a show. Like that's boring. Like the show's over, so there's really no need to do anything on the way back unless something really interesting happens. But usually something never really interesting happens.
No, you always.
And actually,
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I said actually, I'm learning now that I don't need I did it before because it was newish and it was interesting, but now I think to the point where like it's not us like when we're traveling to shows. Like I thought I would have to show every little part of getting to the show, which sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes things happen and it's interesting. And like you said, it's a good part of the story. But after a while, I found myself just kind of like I swear it was just like, okay, we're leaving the desert. We're going to Brian's house. We're leaving Brian's house. We're stopping. And it's like the same thing. So, and was the last resort video. And we were talking about that the whole trip. We were talking about it. And I just started it just kind of in it, and people notice. They're like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool how you just sort of like jumped into it, you know, instead of your usual, you know, what you do. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. So people do notice.
Yeah, they do. And I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos of people talking about YouTube things, about new trends and new this and like what works and what doesn't, and kind of not ways to get more views, just kind of ways that you don't think to interact sometimes. And listening
what
to,
do you mean?
Like, I watched one the other day, and it was, if your title is building a Nissan pickup truck, or I bought a Nissan pickup truck, get to that point where you bought the truck, get right into the story. There's no need to like go 5 minutes and talk and of something. It's just like,
that's good advice.
Like I was thinking of, I'm going to film going to buy the truck and talking to the seller. And I took my camera, and when I couldn't talk to him because he didn't speak English. So I was talking to his son, and I'm thinking like, I'm not going to film this. It's weird. So I just like, and then I just jumped into it. Like the title is, let's go mini trucking. Essentially I bought him a Nissan pickup. So I'm just right into it.
That's good advice.
Like a lot of times there's setup, and then there's plot, and then there's this, which is great for some things. But this is, I was like, no, I'm just going to jump right into it and see what happens. Like the next video is about some things that I bought for the truck, and I'm just going to jump right into it.
That's exactly what I was just saying about like the traveling stuff. Like people know the title says the show. We're going to this show. So unless something interesting happened, like actually what I've been doing a lot that I realize maybe fills that void is like me working on the Titan, like adding stuff and doing stuff
to the
like
story of
that,
traveling.
that added something to it, but not every other video. Like I said, we're like, okay, I'm leaving the desert. I'm going to Brian.
Getting gas.
We're stopping. Yeah, we're getting gas.
Getting gas.
Yeah, no, that's really solid advice.
Now,
I like that.
You still have to set up a scene. Like let's say, for example, if you are leaving the desert and you're going to a show, like you're setting it up. So there are setup things. Or like if you're going from one place to another and you throw a little time lapse of driving because it separates the two areas. So it shows that you did leave here and went here. So there are different things to include to add to a story to where it makes sense. But again,
it doesn't need to be like, I found myself making 3 or 4 minutes of that. It doesn't, and I always like was admired that about your videos, because sometimes you're just like, you get the exact same point across, but you did it in 30 seconds.
Well, so, yeah, because you're at a gas station, you're talking to the camera, and you're telling them about the trip, and you think in your head that that's a short thing, and then you start to edit it, and it's
like 2 minutes long.
It's funny, when I first started vlogging was 2020. I never really talked to the camera before then, really, you know? So I was like, but I need to change things up. So I thought maybe that'll change. I have so much crap that I talked about, like driving my truck, like, oh, look, it's downtown Phoenix. Oh, look, we're driving by Glendale, where Dino's is. Oh, look, they're this. And oh, look. And I told this stupid story about Phoenix having rocks for yards instead of grass. So you go through a lot of windshields. And I remember getting home, and I threw it in the computer to edit. And I was like,
you're like, what are you talking about?
I am not putting this on my YouTube channel.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
But I kept it. I didn't delete the footage.
Oh yeah, got to keep everything.
And I always have this weird dark thought.
Oh no, this is the part of the episode where we get dark thoughts.
We're talking about death.
Oh my God, here we go again.
I have this. I have all these hard drives, and one day someone's gonna see that and go, "What the hell was he talking about?"
Right.
One day that will end up on the internet. Because someone's going to go, rest in peace, Brian. Look at all this stuff.
Celebrate Brian's life.
Celebrate Brian's life. And I'm
he talked about rock yards for 30 minutes. That's very funny.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, no, I have tons of footage like that too. And it's always a balance. And trying. I don't know. It's always a challenge. That's what this whole thing that we do is a challenge. It's just It's like we were talking about last week about making things, throwing against the wall and see what happens.
Yeah,
you know.
I think ultimately, if you're not having fun doing it, don't force it.
You've told me many times that like you can tell in the videos like, oh, you were having fun or you really weren't feeling that. Like you can't hide anything. You know, the audience, the viewer is very intuitive and they're very perceptive to what's happening, and you can't fake anything.
Nope. So. Not at all. It's so funny how that works. Like, it's almost like the video would end and you're like, that was weird. What was wrong with it? It was off.
Yeah.
So
I've done it and I've seen other people do it and I watch videos. I've said the same thing myself. Like, huh, okay. But then again, like sometimes it just happens. Like it's going to happen. You're going to make stuff like that. Like,
well, you're going to be forced into it because it's not like, I remember it happened when you went to the auto mixer. That's when that video, that's the video. I was like, oh yeah, you weren't into that at all.
Yeah.
And you're like, But it's not weird. Like you had a choice to make a video or don't make a video.
I know. I thought about that.
You made a video and you made content and you made it work. And it's not like the video was bad.
It wasn't even like I had a good time. I mean, that we were there, we had all the club there. I had a blast, but it was just like having to retell it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I had the worst time editing the Rolling in the Red Rocks video.
Oh, really? You fell into that one the same way?
That's the one that pushed me over the edge. Not because of the show. The show was great. Like, I'm really excited to go back. I had a good time. I don't know what it was, but when I was editing that video, that's when I snapped. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And the funny thing is like, the next few ones were really good. And I was like, I really like this. I was like, but I already said that I'm not doing this anymore. So,
you know, the thing is like, I think we have to say a lot of things. And then, like, almost, this sounds bad, but almost kind of not have some accountability. You know what I mean? Like you could say one thing like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. And then keep doing it. And then someone says like, hey, I thought you said you weren't doing that. And you said, don't hold me accountable.
I'm a liar. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, I know. The one thing that I figured out in all this is we are a bit hypocritical on stuff.
Oh,
and that's 100%. Okay.
I find
that's okay.
I think it's funny because when I message you on Messenger, or you message me, like, we'll be in a mood and we'll be like, da 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 da, and then like that's where I bounce off my moods instead of doing it on here or doing it somewhere. Like that's where I can kind of level myself out if I'm being overly aggressive about something or overly opinionated or overly thinking about it. Or you'll do it to me. You're like, you'll send me something, and I'm like, why did you say that?
I know.
Like I'm just in a mood.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Well, I was going to say something. Oh, I still have 2 show videos to edit too. I still have Chubbs and Severed in the Southwest. And
same.
I'm going to make a show video for LST. I was hoping to drive the Chevy there and make it a whole story, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I was just thinking about that yesterday. I washed my truck. So like my road has been muddy for like a month and I finally washed my truck. And I was thinking, I'm like, and then because you posted a few days ago, you and Mike were making some stuff. And I'm like, is this going to be are we going to make it? And then I was like, oh, I don't think so. So at least
we're going to make it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, we're going to make the show. I mean, just with the OBS, because you were filming some stuff with the OBS and that made me wonder.
The OBS is getting ready to be worked on. So I just needed Mike up here to help me do drone shots.
Which is so funny because a few episodes ago, this is funny. So a few episodes ago, we were talking, and I was like asking about the OBS. I said, oh, the OBS is at Pandas. And you kind of went like, no. And then I was like, oh my gosh, is this like a bit? Like it's not supposed to be at Pandas? And I'm like, oh, okay. It's not. And no, it was not. Totally was not.
It's on the side of my house still.
It was literally. And you said that. And I was like, oh, I think he's being cheeky. No, it's literally there.
No, we drove in the desert right behind my house. We went and slid it around a little bit.
Dude, that was so cool.
It's so funny. It's so funny. There was one point where like I went over this. I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I took off and the truck just died. I'm off. And so Mike, like the drone shot is me getting out and I look at the drone, I'm all, and I'm in the middle of like a puddle.
You gotta punch in on that, right?
Yeah. So I haven't driven like that in a long time too. Mike's like, do you know how to drive in the dirt? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't done it in a long time. And I was just like, this is a good time. If it breaks right now, I'm close to my house. So
Yeah.
we're just
That's
gonna
all.
do it.
Oh, you just did it in the desert behind your
Yeah, just
place
right
up there?
behind my house.
Oh, that's cool. And then, oh, I'm sorry, that's my dog. So did Mike do some Mike things in there?
No, it was I just literally needed him to fly the drone.
Hold on.
Is it Dwight? Is Dwight here?
No, I think maybe Dwight is here. No, I don't know what that was. I thought it was someone pulling up. Almost got the shotgun out. No, I didn't. But anyway, sorry.
I didn't. The shotgun's always out.
Yeah, always ready. There's no shotguns. But yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no, that was the video was fun. Or the stuff you posted on Instagram looked really fun.
It was. I can't wait to do it. It looks super fun. It looks super funny when we were reviewing the footage. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be a build alongside the Nissan build. So the content will be. But I'm already on Marketplace and I'm like, ooh,
I've said many times that the only reason I ended up with so many Mazdas, the only reason I ended up with so many Mazdas is because I wanted a Toyota and I could never get one.
Yeah.
I was like, and then now I said earlier, like Angie was talking about a truck. I was like, dude, a clean Mazda would be so sick.
It would be.
I know, and they're cheap.
Yep.
Those things are cheap.
They are cheap. You just got to make sure that you're not buying a money pit.
Yeah. I think that's really important, and I think that like you doing your research and really looking at it, I think you started with a good platform. Because the
biggest part is you don't want to buy something and like, yeah, I made a good decision, and then you're like, oh, I got to replace $2,000 worth of stuff. So it's like
there are $2,600 Tacomas out there, but they're $2,600 Tacomas. They're going to need another $2,600 to get going.
That's right. So you might as well have spent $6,000 right off the bat.
Right.
But you can find them, and as long as the interior is clean and doesn't smell, and then the AC works and it passes smog, and
that's another big thing about the Nissan too, is it's got heat and AC.
Which is funny because I kept saying, "Oh my gosh, it's got AC!" Like I was super excited for it. My Tacoma has air conditioning.
Yeah, but a Tacoma is.
But it's a newer truck. Like a Tacoma feels like it's a newer truck, even though it's only 3 years newer than this Nissan.
Yeah, but well, maybe was that because early on like that didn't exist. Like mini trucks didn't have air conditioning. They were just stripped down.
They did, but the higher trim levels did.
Oh, I see.
You know, like they had mini trucks had AC in the 80s. Mm-hmm. You know, but you just had to make sure you find one with air conditioning in it. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they made Tacomas without AC. I think like that mid 90s was the start of standard equipment like that.
Oh, I see.
So
we're definitely not going to find a Mazda with AC. Maybe maybe that's the tipping point with Angie. I was like, all right, we're going to build this truck. It's an 88 Mazda with no AC.
Your video should be not telling Angie that you're buying her a truck, knowing that she was be okay with a daily driver, and you just show up with one.
Oh, that's a good
Imagine
idea.
calling
Except for
her.
she listens to this and
Well, it doesn't have to be tomorrow.
oh yeah, also yeah.
But in like
I'm not gonna do that.
in 2 months, you're like, all right, Aunt, I'm gonna go get some McDonald's, and you leave with the Titan, and then you call Angie like, hey, come outside real quick, and you drive back with this Mazda, and it's just a piece of crap.
And I'm all, we don't have a Titan anymore. Surprise!
I traded it for a Mazda like I did when I was 20.
Yeah.
It's the Mazda that you owned before. It comes down the road. You found the old Mazda. You're just like, we're reliving our youth.
That'd be
And
cool.
She just shuts the door. She's like, I'm going to relive when I was single.
The last Mazda I had is in a million pieces like that. And I don't know what happened to the purple one.
Mazdas are weird because you just can't find them still running. Like you can, but you just... Like this one is an original motor, the original transmission with 300,000 miles on it. Yeah, it's had...
I was going to ask you how many miles were on it.
It says 302.
Wow.
But that doesn't work. So...
It could be more.
It's definitely more because I put a few hundred miles on it that aren't showing on it. But like you're not going to find a 300,000 mile Mazda.
That's true.
Those
those Mazdas are not super reliable. They're not like a Toyota. They're not like a Nissan for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And then having like Mike as the mechanic guy that I can bounce stuff off. Mike is an S10 guy. a mechanic, because he used to take S10s and he knew there was like head bolt issues with them. And he was like, yeah, if you just replace this, I could get these trucks for $700 because people did this. And he's like, I would spend $500 replacing this and then sell them for $3,500 because he could get them running in a day. And then whatever.
That's funny. My mechanic is that with Toyotas.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a thing, you know, too, not too long ago, people buying 4Runners and replacing the head gaskets on them and flipping them. So I guess they all got those quirks.
Yep. Now I want a Nissan just like this, but 4-wheel drive.
Oh, extra cab.
It doesn't matter. Extra cab or standard cab.
To me, the lifted, the quintessential lifted Nissan four-wheel drives are like the ones that used to be on the remember that video game? I forget what it was called, but it was all about, it was like not trophy truck racing, but it was like what do they call it when it's not trophy truck racing through the desert, but it's racing like in a stadium. It's like mini trucks racing in a stadium. I don't know.
Stadium trucks? Maybe. Well, I mean, that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? It would.
But anyway, it was an extra cab Nissan, and you know, had the I forget what colors were, like red and gray. Yeah. Anyway, so
with those like robotic looking wheels.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see? I posted Nissan did renderings of the new Frontier.
I saw that,
like with that old throwback, and I was like, oh, it's so sick. The reason I want that, if I find like an extra cab would be cool. It just depends on the deal of the day, because it's I would just buy it because I want something 4-wheel drive, living out here just to go mess around, and then because the hills are right here, I can just go and just do
I don't want off-roady things.
Do off-roady things, you know, and I don't know, it'd like a cool just a cool around the town pickup truck.
Yeah,
throw a light bar in the back with some KC lights on it. Your
neighbors are gonna wonder what the fuck's going on over there.
I know. They're like,
what is this dude doing? Oh, sweetie, he's got another one. It's just as bad as the last one,
and it's parked in our driveway because there's no more room in his.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Now I know the next logical step in this whole thing is now you're going to storm at my place.
Oh, I know. Hey, Frank, can you?
Well, we already got the cat Toyota.
Yeah, that'll be a thing one day.
That's going to require a lot more.
I have, what is these like grandiose visions of this whole thing? One of them is to definitely have a big project like that, but way later on down the road.
That's going to take a while to put together.
Yeah, and it's going to take that's going to be the motor swap one.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be the one where
sense.
because there's no motor or transmission in it, right? So that's going to be the one where it's just like, oh, let's put a
2JZ,
1UZ, whatever Z's I can find.
All the Z's. Just stuff
1, 2, 3
Z's in there.
Z's, U's, I don't know. Whatever's in there. But I want to definitely do something performance-wise, because I want, like, if this truck had 250-ish horsepower, it would be a blast to drive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
that one definitely needs to be turned into a short bed, though, if that was going to happen.
The one that you have there? Oh, yeah. Finding a short bed would definitely do it.
Well, you know how, like, that's a thing right now with, like, C10s doing the conversion to cut them down to short beds? That'd be kind of interesting. Maybe not find a short box, but just make that one short.
Does that have the Japanese bed on it with the rails?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I forgot. I think it does. I think it has the lip on the top.
Okay, yeah, where it's got like the hooks and then like the little curly top rail. Yeah, it has that.
That's the Japanese bed. That one would be. That's the one that I had that we put 4-wheel drive fenders on the back to make it look like an American bed, but with the
roundy top thing.
With the roundy top thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun eventually. I got to get through this one and hopefully, and that's another thing. I'm just like, I want to record another episode, but I have to wait on a certain things to line up to do that. Episode of this or the videos, the truck
Nissan
videos.
truck video. Yeah.
Cool.
Like I'm ready to film the next one.
That's awesome. That's cool, man. And it's really cool to see you so excited about it too.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool.
Yeah.
I got to get excited about something like that. I'm taking my truck to get something done this weekend.
Fuel cell?
Fuel cell. Getting a... See, maybe I shouldn't talk about that because that's going in my video. So I'm not going to talk about it. Edit that out. No, I was kidding. No, it can stay. No, but yeah, because I'm kind of doing the same thing. Like, it's easy to sit here and like we talked about it a few episodes ago when everybody knows it's leaking gas and it's got a crack in the fuel cell. So,
but that's like a story in itself.
It is. It's going in this next video right now. I'm working on the end of the year video, the mini truck revival end of the year show.
Yeah.
And that's a part of it. It's me. The whole beginning of the video is me dealing with this issue with the 4Runner.
Yeah, the trials and tribulations of owning a custom truck.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Nothing is perfect. Nothing ever goes as planned. You know, and things happen.
And lots of money.
Yeah, and things happen. So,
yeah. No. So yeah, look out for that. That'll be an interesting little thing.
How is the reception to your Freaks video?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's like not that I thought the video was not good. It's one of those things like, is this interesting? It's got 0 trucks in it, you know, but people dug it. A lot of people said it's cool to see like beyond the car show kind of thing and like this whole group of people hanging out. And yeah, it had a really good reception.
Yeah, it
took me a while to make it because it was just one of those things where like I was like trying to piece it together and like I was telling you, and this is not a knock against anything, but I felt like it was like filming a wedding video kind of.
Oh, it's exactly it's a celebration of
it's sort of like an event. So it was kind of interesting for me to do that because like again, that's not like what we do. We make, you know, truck videos or car show videos, but it was cool. I'm proud of it. I like it. I dig it, and other people dig it too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. I like waking. I've made a couple wedding videos and a couple of parties, event videos whether it's like some sort of event and I think they're fun because there's no rules. Just getting people's facial reactions and their facial expressions tell a story. That's exactly and that's what I figured out. Cause like I had one of those things where I had an edit going, but I'm like, And then I realized, I was searching footage for like people saying something interesting when what I ended up looking for is exactly what you're saying. Just someone smiling, laughing. These two guys kind of embracing each other and having a laugh. Like, and then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. That's my dogs. I don't know what's going on out there. What are they excited for?
My little one, like the new one, it just thinks everything is to be barked at. I don't know. Anyway, so sorry for everybody listening. Those are the dogs barking. I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, it's showing people like taking a drink. Like you don't even have to know what they're saying. You just know because you put yourself in the situation of drinking, sitting there having a drink with your buddy. You can just imagine what they're saying.
Yeah, so. No, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. Yep. So you want to get into dropping in, or I mean, we kind of pressing on this one.
Did you? And I know you didn't. This is a dumb question.
I did.
This is did you look at any of that stuff I sent you?
I did.
Did you?
Did
you find anything cool?
I got it right here. Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about for the theme song.
Oh, the theme song. I thought you were talking about questions.
No.
The theme song. I mean, I browsed it a bit. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I'm on the computer and I go, what is Frank doing right now? Is he watching TV? And he's like, gets his phone. He's like, oh, that's cool.
I don't know. My life. Well, a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff going on.
No, I have the same thing. I have a buddy that sends me, he'll send me YouTube videos and stuff. And then or movies. He's like, and I need to really see that movie. And I never watch it.
Yeah. And I do. Like, it's got to be like in the right moment when there's not other stuff going on. But I look at most of it. I just didn't look at those.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not important to the podcast.
I know it's not even like an integral part of this whole thing.
No.
I will look into them. But what do you got?
What do you have? Because you said,
well, you sent me the things, and I put some, just kind of thought about it a little bit. The one where the person asks, this is a good question because there's a couple good stories about it. This person asks, I got a question. I'm not sure if it's a question. What's your funniest or craziest story of wearing a shirt or hat? And someone said, are you a mini trucker? That specific thing we talked about in a few episodes back where I was at this like random club in Hollywood, and the doorman said, "Hey, are you in a mini truck club?" And I was wearing a Forbidden shirt.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But it also got me to what it kind of more got me to think about is like seeing your shirt, someone else wearing your shirt in a situation that's like, oh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has it happened to you?
Oh, you mean like someone wearing my t-shirt?
Yeah, like your brand, seeing someone wear it in like a weird place or somewhere where you wouldn't expect it.
I've had people send me photos of people wearing it.
Yeah, same thing. Same. Yeah. So yeah, maybe you not seeing it first person, but someone seeing it, sending it to you.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. I think that's the coolest, one of the coolest things ever. It's because if you go to a car show, you're expecting to see like all these different t-shirts, but when someone sends it to you, like if they're sitting at the zoo in a different, and they're like, look at this, and it's just like those two people lined up somehow and saw that. Like I've seen Joe C10 Vatos, like I was walking
I was thinking about that
store, and I saw the guy, and I was like,
oh no, the other one where the guy was in England.
Oh yeah, right when the Queen passed away, wasn't it?
Yeah. And someone was out there wearing a C10 Vato shirt.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's pretty insane. I have a couple. One time I was at Disneyland and I saw someone wearing one of our shirts, and I don't know. And that's also the other thing is like, not only you see someone wearing your brand in a place that you don't expect it, but you don't know that person.
I always think like, where'd they get it?
I always wonder where they go.
Did someone gift it to them? Were they at a car? Because you can look at them and then wait for them to look at you, and then do they know who I am?
Yeah.
But if they look at you and they just like you're someone else, they don't know who you are. Where'd they get that t-shirt if they don't know who you are?
Exactly. I think that's crazy too. The other thing that I think is crazy in that kind of same respect is like, we sell hundreds of t-shirts throughout the year. Where do they go? Like you don't see it's kind of weird because you're like we say, unless you're at a show, like you don't see them around, but we sell so many of them. Like, where do they go? Like, how come I don't see more of them? I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, so that was one time I saw it at Disneyland. One time someone sent me a thing. A guy on a TV show was getting interviewed wearing one of our shirts. Oh
yeah, that's always cool when you see a glimpse of someone on TV.
Yeah, I forget what it was, what show it was, but it was a guy and he was wearing one of our an older design, which I thought was really cool. I sent it
to you. It was a 4-wheel drive shop out in Texas.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot the TV show. I think it was was it TV, YouTube? I don't know what it was, but it was Motor Trend or something. And that's always tough because people, you're not supposed to wear certain things when you're on TV.
Right. It's like a production thing.
Yeah. So when you see that, you're just like, oh, that's slipped in. Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. I'm trying to think of anything else, but no, those are the ones that I can think of. I think there are other instances, but those are the two that kind of stood out in my mind.
I like seeing, even if it's not my shirt or your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it is, like if you're at somewhere and you see just a mini truck shirt, like a show shirt.
Yeah.
You're just like,
I have a crazy one that I saw. It popped up on Reddit and it was this guy and it was Tom Morello. And someone saw like Tom Morello was at this random club bar thing, whatever. And so the guy like takes a picture and he's like this, and the guy behind him is wearing a Lone Star Throwdown shirt. Oh, and I was like, how crazy is that? Like, one, I can identify with that thing that person's wearing, and then two, I think the guy was oblivious that Tom Morello was standing behind him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good question about the shirts. We'll see how that edits out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else going on you want to talk about on your mind?
Still doing the Acura giveaway.
Which, this whole time, I mean, obviously you can't see because we only see this.
Yeah.
It's been sitting on the desk next to me.
Oh,
in the background.
Look at that.
I thought that might be kind of interesting. So now, I thought it was interesting for two things. One was I just have here, and I've not talked about it the whole time, so I'm kind of just like ignoring it a little bit. Yeah. So I'm wondering when people would be like, I wonder when he's going to talk about that Acura stuff sitting behind him. Well, here we are. We come to the point where we're talking about the Acura stuff. We're giving this away. This is a complete Acura E-Level Plus kit, which we never really talked about exactly what this stuff is, because I hope people aren't under the impression that they're like it's like the valve block and everything, because
I don't think they are. I think,
okay,
because you can see the breakdown of the picture on the website.
Yeah. So what we got is we got the controller.
Yep.
The Acura E-Level Plus controller. This is the eConnect. So I'm assuming this is the brain of the operation.
Yep.
Right. And then the height sensors.
Yeah. So if you are on airbags already, then you can install this stuff and you're ready to go.
You're E-leveled, which is
E-leveled,
which is great. I love it. I have it. I endorse it. And yes.
Yeah, it's
but this is the newer version. I mean, mine's almost 9 years old now.
Yeah, that's
so
a Bluetooth one, so
old.
you can download the app and control it on your phone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So they got all that great stuff. So this is up for grabs. All you got to do is either go to livelifecustom.com, grinder-tv.com, and enter to win this great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's new shirts coming on our website soon.
Yep, new shirts coming. Got some sales going. If you go to my site, I got a couple shirts for $10 for an easy, quick entry. Got some $5 sticker packs, some $5 keychains. If you want to it only takes one to win. It only takes one to win.
It only takes one to win. Yeah, I've got my Nissan. If you want a Nissan 720 T-shirt, I'm never making them again. I probably have 20 of them left, so they're $15 shipped, free shipping.
Oh, I know. I don't do that. To talk kind of about another thing, but I am gonna because you told me that and I've heard from a couple of people that my site's a little difficult to navigate. So
yeah,
I'm gonna fix that.
It's just that we're in that day of age where it's just like, if you can't order it,
I know
the least amount of click. I mean, Amazon, the buy now, it's just like I could go and buy almost anything I want on Amazon on my phone. Just go click, click, done, and it's at my house tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's just we just live in that day and age of that.
Yeah, so I'll try to accommodate. But anyway, well, thanks for checking out this week's episode. We'll see you later.
Bye.